Some places do not stay on the map. They move inward. A coastline becomes longing. An island becomes memory. A line of hills becomes the last language grief can trust. And once that happens, a song about a place is never just about a place again. It becomes a way of naming home, absence, belonging, and the strange fact that leaving somewhere does not always mean it lets go of you. Tonight we follow that feeling through a handful of Scottish songs, where landscape turns into love, ache, and something very close to prayer. We begin with Paul McCartney's Mull of Kintyre, because it is the impossible hit that proves a place song can conquer pop. Mull of Kintyre was released by Wings in November 1977. Paul McCartney and Denny Laine wrote it as a tribute to the Kintyre Peninsula in southwest Scotland, where McCartney had owned High Park Farm since 1966. It was recorded with the Campbelltown Pipe Band and became the 1977 Christmas #1 in the UK. It stayed at #1 for 9 weeks, became the first single to sell more than 2 million copies in Britain, and overtook even the Beatles' She Loves You to become the biggest-selling UK single up to that point. That is already a ridiculous sentence. A bagpipe waltz about mist and homesickness became, for a time, the biggest-selling single in British history. We are leaving Kintyre now, but only to prove the point. Because once a song about one beloved place becomes strong enough, it can be borrowed by another beloved place without losing its emotional structure. Nottingham Forest supporters adapted Mull of Kintyre into a terrace anthem, changing the lyrics so Mull of Kintyre becomes city ground and mist rolling in from the sea becomes mist rolling in from the Trent. The chant has been a pre-match tradition for decades. This is one of my favorite cultural mutations. A song written by a millionaire ex-Beatle about a Scottish peninsula gets picked up by football supporters in Nottingham and turned into a ritual of collective belonging. And somehow it makes perfect sense. Now we switch the song Eilean mo Chrìdh, or Isle of My Heart. Mull of Kintyre is affectionate and communal. Eilean mo Chrìdh is intimate and wounded. The place is not merely admired, it is missed, and missed properly. Not in the modern lifestyle sense of, I should really go back sometime. This is older than that, harder than that. The island is woven into identity so tightly that separation feels like injury. The singer does not simply remember the place continues to act on the singer from a distance. It understands that landscape is not only where you live, it is sometimes where your emotions continue living after you have gone. That is why the island can become almost theological. Not because the land is divine, because memory can be. Next stop, Westering Home. Westering Home was written by Hugh S. Roberton in the 1920s. Its lyric is associated with Eilean, but its tune is linked to older melody material tied to Gaelic Eilean mo Chrìdh traditions, with the rhythm reshaped into 3/4. You can hear the family resemblance. But Westering Home smiles where Eilean mo Chrìdh aches. It is a return song, a homecoming song, a song that knows distance but refuses to let distance have the last word. Our final stop today, Mist-Covered Morvionne, known in English as Mist-Covered Mountains, was written in 1856 by John Cameron of Ballachulish. Over time, its tune took on an extraordinary ceremonial life. It was played on the bagpipes at the funeral of John F. Kennedy in 1963, Winston Churchill in 1965, Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother in 2002, and Queen Elizabeth II in 2022. The tune tells you something very deep about what place songs can become. This is no longer just someone missing home. This is public mourning borrowing the language of landscape. And of course it does. Because when institutions need music for grief, they often reach for songs that understand permanence. Mountains outlast office. Mist outlasts biography, which is either comforting or terrifying, depending on your relationship with humility, possibly both. Our version goes back to Eilean mo Chrìdh, but it belongs to the whole family. If you want to honour a place properly, you cannot merely describe it. You have to let it wound you a little. You are singing about belonging itself. This is Isle of my heart.
That rise from the sea.